Hi, Thak, we're back. Let's cut the chit chat, get right into it. I'm templating now for the jaggy points here, for lack of a better thing to call them. So I'm just going to quickly grab a piece of cardboard, bend it, put a crease in it there, and this thing's been sitting on the table for a week and a half and points are breaking off, so it's high time we got to this. All right, that might work. Something like that. Probably need to do fine tuning as we get into this, but this should give me a starting point. So let's transfer this to some steel and bend it up. So piece of 18 gauge cold roll steel is which we are making these things out of, which is my favorite thickness of steel for doing this sort of stuff. And you can see I have not been overly precise on this because I don't expect that this is going to be my final shape here. Also, I should put a center line in. That is going to be a muy importante for the next step. There we go. Let's go over to Beverly and cut this out. It is now positioned in the vise and I'm just going to bend it. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. I don't know why I'm even talking. So deep into the process now, you can see I've formed up a bunch of these little triangles and tacked them into place. So probably about 6 or 7 hours since we last spoke. Also put in some pieces here and filling in some gaps where I didn't have enough room. So I ran out of space on the edge of the ear, so I have to make pieces. So I'm just kind of fitting pieces together. Now I'm working on the lower jaw here. I've got a piece that I've made up for the inner part of the mouth, and that is going to slide in there like that. And now I have to shape up a tongue, and then I got to do some fangs. Right now I'm unhappy with the way the nostrils are looking there, and because I'm right at the edge of the sheet there, I can't really work with that. So I'm actually going to make another piece here. You can see I framed this up. I'm going to anneal that and do my sculpt on that, and then just patch that piece in there. So what we're really at now is a lot of cutting little pieces and patching it in there, and then I'm just welding it with my little MIG, and that will all have to be ground and cleaned up. Once we've got it all tacked together, there's probably going to be some TIG welding, which is much cleaner, that we'll be doing as well. But we'll have to see how it goes. So we're still quite a ways to go before we're even ready to start working on the hinge portion of this. So see you later, stand by, more to come. So much time has passed here, I've done quite a bit. I've got the tongue here, which sits in there like that. And right now I'm just working on the lower fangs. I've got my pieces together here, and we'll just demonstrate how those little dentures go together and then start getting inserted again. But that's where we're at right now. So we'll get you in close here and let's look at welding up some teeth. All right, so I've done a little bit of work on the lower teeth here and just kind of sculpting that into place there. Still have to do some fooling around, got to drop it down a little bit tighter there, but you're kind of getting the idea of where that is going. And then I just have to bring it in to fit it in, just endless tweaking and fiddling. Anyway, moving on, I want to just show you what the next step, because what we're going to be doing is hinging the top part of this for the cover of the computer, which you'll see in a little bit. I need to be able to hinge this part here. This is all welded as one solid unit now. So I'm going to go to the inside here, and I need to start sculpting the inside to fit over our right angle here. So I'm going to go back to my clay original and actually for the first time pop it off the form, and that will give me an idea of what I need to do in order to make this fit onto this right angle here. So essentially that will be fitting on there like that, but I need to notch in on the inside, and now I have to start figuring out where I need to grind in there to create that shape. This is interesting and abstract, so see how that works out. So I have notched the back here and put a hinge. I don't know if the camera's picking this up here, but I've actually got a hinge that is tacked and welded into here, and I'm attaching the pieces together that this will hinge up. The on button is in up for the computer is on in here, so you'll be able to open it up, turn on the on button, and slam that down. Also, I'll be boring out some holes there for the LEDs and put some Terminator style eyes in there. So I'm just in the last little bits of piecing and patching stuff together. I'm putting some more sheet in here to patch this all together and make it a cohesive unit. So the last little bits are going to get tacked into place. Then I have to do the final welding and then a lot of grinding. So still quite a ways to go, but more or less have all the components now in place, and the functionality is more or less there. So stick around. Yo, sup? Okay, we are in the home stretch here, and still a little bit of fine tuning to do before we do the grand reveal, but giving you a sneak peek of where things are at now. Pretty happy. We have got everything pieced together, ground, polished, and got the lights in place here, and I'm just going to go through all those various steps in a moment here. I just want to talk about a few things. Firstly, I'm realizing our last 3 repose builds have been wolf heads. Technically the one was the hound, but it was a very wolf-like hound. So I feel dangerously close to being typecast into the guy who makes wolf heads. So we will not be doing a wolf head for many, many videos to come. Our next repose, actually, I think what I'd like to do is raven skulls for some cloak pins that are coming up. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's get back into this one. Whoa! Okay, so we started out here, and I'm gonna get Erik hopefully to be able to get some nicer screen captures of these two up on the screen, because these are a little bit work weary from being on my table for the last 2 weeks. But basically we took the original icon and then this different style here, and I kind of morphed the two styles together somewhat, staying a little closer to the original, but then by melding those two together, I kind of deviated off into my own style near the end, the nose and stuff like that. I just kind of played with some designs, and I'm not one to be a slave to every detail of trying to make it canon perfect unless that's what I'm going for. I'm just going for something in the spirit of that Wolford thing. I think I did capture it. Let's go back to the process. We started out with the clay maquette in the original video, and just that gives me a starting point, basically a topographical map that gives me my brain, gives me something so that I can understand that shape a little bit better. From there, I sculpted out the face using repose technique, so a piece of 18 gauge, and pounded that out to get this top of the head, the most organic portion of this. After that, what we did is the pieces coming off the ruff of the neck here, a bunch of triangles, and we didn't bother to film that. The logistics of filming a build this long gets to be fairly complicated, especially with our timing and my camera guy in different days than I'm working here or there. And this is about a 35 hour build, I think. So like, it's just, it's kind of hard to always capture everything. We're gonna put a couple of shots from my phone up of the intermediate things. Basically, started out putting the triangles on there, and then I just pieced all that stuff together, tacking it in with the little MIG welder, and then eventually getting all the pieces and then forming up the lower jaw, the tongue, forging out the teeth, and then what I did was built a hinge in here off my mock-up. This is our computer case mock-up here. So I took an actual hinge and then tacked everything to that and did filler pieces to actually fill in this hinge, because the idea of this thing is it'll be mounted to the front of the computer, and then you'll be able to lift it up here. On button is in here, and then close it back up. So after I got all these pieces together and ground, then I gun blued it. After it was gun blued, then I took my polishing Scotch-Brite products and I buffed it up to this finish here. The final step then was just getting some lights for the eyes, and now check this out. I think it's pretty cool if I get this working here. Huh? Not bad, eh? So we got our Terminator Eyes on there now, and that was basically, I just went to the dollar store and got some little clip-on LED lights, and then I took a, they were white, or the bluish white LED, and then I took a $1 plastic ruler and made little contacts that created the redness of the eye. Still a little pink for my liking. We may have to mess with that, but I think you get the overall idea. So now the last thing to do, we don't have the computer case here, the computer that it's going on, so that has to be fitted, make sure everything fits there, and then we have to fasten it to the actual computer, and we will do a grand reveal in a few seconds later on in the magic of this video here. But for my purposes, basically this is it. This is the entire build. Let me just check my notes and see if I have done my due diligence. I think so. I'm very pleased with the overall results in here. If you have questions on this, you can always leave them in your comments below. I may have glossed over some things that you guys would like to see more detail in, but look back in our other videos. A lot of the steps, things like bluing and polishing and stuff like that, will be addressed in other videos, also in upcoming videos. Good reason to subscribe. So please subscribe, leave your comments, all that stuff, and we will see you in future videos. So Thak out, wait for the grand reveal. See ya.